Hi everyone, welcome back to our series on MSP success at SonicWall. I'm Amelia Foss, Product Marketing Specialist, and I'm joined today by Scott Jenkins, our Solutions Architect. Today we're going to talk about using affiliations to manage your business. We'll look at what an affiliation is, the proper process for onboarding and offboarding, and any pitfalls you may encounter along the way. Please make sure to check out the rest of the videos in this series. And with that, I'll hand it over to Scott. Take it away.
Thanks, Amelia. Hello, everyone. So we're going to talk about affiliations today. Here's kind of a formal definition, but we're going to talk about what is it really, right, in plain terms. So your MySonicWall account or unified management, right, as we're all moving over to the unified management platform now. But your account, you have your products, all of your licensing's in there, that kind of thing. Well, how do you share that? Usually with the managed services provider, but it can go either way. But as a customer, when I hire an MSP to take a look at my environment, they may need to apply monthly licensing. They need to administrate it. Maybe it's co-managed and you have your own staff, and now it's your on-site staff and theirs to manage it. So instead of trying to get accounts inside of each other, you can create an affiliation, and you show up as just one of the folders inside of the MSP's system. And this gives them the ability that it really looks the same as if both accounts have that same equipment in there. So it really gives that seamless shared look. It allows MSPs to apply monthly licensing, to go ahead and administer it. And really the only thing they can't do is delete products, right? That has to be done by the account who owns it. But in how you do that, it depends. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. And so I'm going to start a little bit from the managed service provider because this is the most common. And then we'll kind of come back a little bit on that. So as a managed service provider, onboarding and offboarding of customers is the most expensive part, right? These are the most resource intensive periods for partners. There are a lot of manual tasks that happen during this process, and it quickly shows the maturity of a partner as well as really setting a tone for the success. But it's also added cost that has to be borne by the partner. We try to do set up fees or different things, but really, there's a lot to do in taking over someone's network and all of that. So affiliation really gives you a number of great things that you can do. Imagine coming in as a managed service provider and the customer goes, no problem, I'll send you an affiliation request. You'll get that request. You have to accept it. It's a two-way agreement. And once you accept it, their account pops right up into yours. You can now see the history, you can see reports, you can see templates, all of the configuration is there. So documenting all of those customer assets, all that information's right there. If you're applying any licensing, maybe the old partner took away their monthly licensing and now you need to go ahead and add what's appropriate to firewalls or switches, APs, COBS, ATNA, right? Endpoint, whatever, however you, any number one of those. So you can go ahead and you literally just connect in and you see all of that connected. Makes it super easy to set up monitoring and alerting for them, etc. And it makes that onboarding task so much easier. You're not setting anything up new, or you're not having to move anything, you're not having to install anything, right? This is just right there through the screen. So that onboarding task, it really speeds things up when you can see everything that was there. Any old templates that have been used in the past are still available, and it makes that really good. The important part is that the customer or the account that owns the equipment starts the affiliation. So if it's customer owned, then all the equipment should be in the customer account, and then they can create an affiliation back to the MSP. Now, on the other side, God forbid, someone moves on, You can provide that customer documentation. You can remove your monthly licensing. And then the great thing is you can basically just delete that affiliation. That breaks that connection. There's a complete split. The customer is now all off by themselves and they can work with however they want to move forward. And you're done. And it takes literally 30 seconds to a minute to offboard that solution. It's not disruptive to the customer. Nothing breaks. You've removed licensing maybe, but the equipment's there. All of the history's there. Logging's there. All of that setup. It is as clean of a break as it can be made. And so those offboarding tasks are simplified by using affiliations the right way. If you're doing hardware as a service, then that might be different than an MSP. If it has to be co-managed, then an MSP would hold on to that and share that to a customer. That would be the one use case that I can think of where the MSP would do that. If as an MSP, you create an affiliation the wrong way, kind of in reverse, what that will do is create a duplicate set tenant inside of the customer's account. Then you're stuck trying to transfer equipment, those kind of things. The best process is to go ahead and do that. So, or to go ahead and delete that and restart it. So when the customer purchases on that onboarding, you want to make sure and put all of their assets, their licensing in their account, right? So I kind of started a process here. Will the customer be purchasing it, or is it hardware as a service? If they're purchasing, then we would go ahead and register all of the products in the customer's account, apply any annual one-time licenses, those kind of things. Monthly can be added later, right? And then go ahead and, if the customer doesn't have an account, go ahead and create it for them, right, to do all of this. And then you create the affiliation request back to the partner. And then once the partner accepts that, you can go ahead and apply any service provider licensing if necessary. If a tenant for a customer is hardware as a service, then it's very easy to just go ahead and register that firewall in the partner's account. Partners have been doing that for years. And then you can create an affiliation to a customer account only if it's needed for co-management. Other than that, it's a very straightforward process. And again, that's only if it's hardware as a service. And so that offboarding is kind of that same thing in reverse, right? Remove your service licensing, delete the affiliations out of the user group tab. When you go to user groups inside of or MySonicWall, you'll see 3 tabs: groups, affiliations, and user list. Affiliations is that middle tab. Just click the trash can icon on the right for that customer, and it'll delete that tie that binds the 2 accounts together. The customer keeps all their backups, their configuration templates, their history and analytics are intact, and you're ready to kind of move on and finish up that task. As a service provider, right, you can schedule that cutover date, remove the firewall, hold on to that for future reinstallation, disable the services, until that's redeployed. And then you just delete the association if the customer exists in that manage. Very simple. And so by using these affiliations, you're not doing any transferring of equipment. You're not trying to move services like Cloud Secure Edge or Capture Client or APs and switches, and you're not breaking. When you move products from one tenant to another, you lose all of the history. So any logging that's been done up to then, analytics, storage, all of that gets reset to 0 and starts again. So by using affiliations, you're keeping things smooth, you're rolling through, and it really allows kind of for a smooth transition without any loss of that data. And so how do you do this, right? So I'm gonna go through this a little bit quick, but there are some great videos that we're going through. But you do have to be a super admin, right? So if it's a customer account, you need to make sure you're using their admin account, and you go ahead and go. So both parties must have an organizational account with the super admin. And so you'll come through. We want to make sure you go to my work. How you would actually do this is go to my workspace, user groups, and again, hit that affiliation tab. And then you're going to put in a working email or an organizational ID to the company that you're looking for. And then you pick the tenant in your system. If it's a customer, you probably only have one tenant. If it's an MSP, right, then go ahead and pick, of course, the appropriate, the customer's tenant. And you go ahead and add that in, right? So you're going to open that up and roll through. That will automatically create that affiliation. There'll be a user group that gets generated that has rights across. And then now the affiliation is in a pending status. And what is it waiting for? It's waiting for the other party to say yes. So from a customer point of view, they've done it to the MSP. Now the MSP actually has to go ahead and accept that, or the customer must approve it if it goes the other way. Either way, there has to be an acceptance. So you can't just connect to another vendor. You're right. This is a two-way agreement. And again, once you get that done and that request is sent, we get that to a pending. Now everything is approved and we've established it. That shared group is there. You can view that. It has permissions to that one tenant for the purposes of administration. And this allows you to apply licensing and kind of monitoring and alerts, right? So just to kind of refill, how to say this, kind of review that, right? So we're going to make the request. The status is in the pending state. And as soon as the other party accepts that affiliation, now that affiliation is an established one, and either side can revoke that affiliation. So the MSP can revoke it, the customer can revoke it at any time. There'll be like a little shared sign next to a user group. You'll see a little round circle with multiple people in it. So it'll be obvious when you look at a tenant or a user group in your environment. Hey, that's what is that? You see that little icon with again, two little black, in black silhouettes in the circle. Just means there's multiple people to that group, and that's a shared group, and it gives you some of that. And so, of course, now if you get a pending request and you reject it, right? So you log in, you locate it, and then you just hit the delete icon to reject that pending request. And so it's super easy, regardless of which side you're doing here. You get it, you have a choice of basically, in the icon to accept it, or you hit the delete, the little trash can icon, and delete it. So super simple to do. It's just two icons. And then when it's done, right, we've gone our course, we've worked for years happily and merrily, right? When it's time to revoke that, again, you just go back, you hit that trash can icon, and go ahead and delete that affiliation. And either party can initiate that request, that progress or that process. And so fairly smooth. It's a little complicated, but really the whole point for an MSP point of view, come in, set up your customers in their own account, set up your affiliation with them, manage them the way they need to be done, administer them, apply your licensing, and then you can make that break at any time. And there's no rebuilding of networks. There's no downtime for the customer other than just turning off a license and turning on a license, right? So this is about the cleanest way to do it. You spend the least amount of time and it saves everyone. Time is money, right? So we want to make sure that this helps everyone out and rolls through. I kind of created a quick affiliations at a glance. Who can do it, right? The navigation path when you're going through our portal. If you want to take a snapshot of this, that's great, or go ahead and roll that through. But this is really just my last slide here, where just to give you kind of a quick snapshot of who can do it and where do you do that to do those. Quick and dirty video today. I hope you found it informative, and this just adds more efficiency and removes layers of confusion, time. We don't have to troubleshoot transferring of assets, right? We want this to be smooth and easy and profitable for everybody. So that's it, everyone. So I appreciate your time, and thank you for attending today. And please take a look at the rest of the MSP Success series. We have a lot of different videos on different subjects to try to make sure that everybody's successful. Take care.